Your thumb, it's moving before you even decide to move it, you know? The feed just scrolls. And somewhere in Santa Fe, 2 days from now, there's a judge who's about to start hearing arguments that this exact motion, this very thing your hand is doing without asking you, is like legally a public nuisance.
A public nuisance? Wow, that's quite a strong claim for scrolling. I mean, I get it, but so what's happening then specifically? Because I've seen some headlines, but it's all of it jumbled, if I'm honest.
Exactly. The wire coverage has it slightly off, so let me just give you the short version. The jury phase is actually done. A Santa Fe jury back in March found Meta liable for 75,000 violations of New Mexico's Unfair Practices Act and ordered $375 million in penalties. That's a lot, right? What starts Monday, May 4th, is the second phase. And the second phase isn't about whether Meta did something wrong. Nope. It's about what Meta will be ordered to rebuild, like architecturally. It's huge.
Okay, so the what now, not the if. That makes sense, I guess, but I still feel like I'm missing the core thing here. Rebuild what?
Well, that's the thing, Emma, and it's why it's so significant. What's the difference between a settlement and a redesign, you know? And what does it tell you that the gap between them today sits at exactly 25 cents on the dollar?
Oh, that's an interesting way to frame it. So a redesign, like of their entire platform? I mean, that sounds astronomically expensive and complicated. What's even on this rebuild list that's so demanding?
It is. It really is. And the rebuild list is specific, which I think is what people are truly missing. We're not talking about a moderation policy update or another blog post about safety tools, you know? We're talking about age verification at sign-up that actually works, mandatory linking of every minor's account to a Guardian account, the end of end-to-end encryption for users under 18, a permanent ban, same device, same IP, same phone number, for any adult caught engaging in child sexual exploitation, and recommendation algorithms for minors retuned to optimize for what the state calls integrity rather than engagement.
Whoa, that's not just a tweak. As somebody who spends her days looking at how these platforms are actually built, I can tell you those 5 items are not 5 updates. They're 5 different teams working for a year, minimum. And 3 of them, honestly, they require Meta to undo decisions Mark Zuckerberg personally announced as core product strategy. That's a fundamental shift.
Which is precisely why you're seeing the move that Meta made publicly on May 1st. They told the Boston Globe their attorneys have raised the possibility of withdrawing Facebook and Instagram from New Mexico entirely, rather than comply. A company valued at $1.5 trillion, Emma, saying out loud, on the record, that its core product is more expensive to redesign than to surrender to a market of 2 million people. It's quite a statement, don't you think?
Right, and I want to be precise about what that threat is and isn't, actually. From a product perspective, withdrawing Facebook and Instagram from a single state is operationally non-trivial, yeah, but technically straightforward. IP-based geofencing exists, there's prior art and regulatory compliance contexts, so the threat is real in the sense that Meta could do it, but what the threat actually says is the part that matters. It says, we are pricing this, we have done the math on what it costs to redesign versus what it costs to give up 2 million users, and we want you to know we're willing to pick the second option. That's a calculation, that's not a principle. That's a company telling a state court, law is a variable in our optimization function, and you have priced it wrong. Precisely. Which is why Raul Torres, who's the New Mexico Attorney General running this case, said publicly that he doubts Meta will be, in his words, willing and able to turn the lights off for their product all over the country. Because his bit, his very strong bit, is that what New Mexico does first, 40 other state AGs are watching for. And that architecture cost calculation Meta's doing in public, it's going to look very different when it's not 1 state, but 20, you know? The scale completely changes.
The thing I keep coming back to is that the under 13 number is already in the European Commission's filing. They documented that 10 to 12% of children under 13 are using Facebook and Instagram, and Meta's risk assessment just didn't adequately reflect this. That's not a guess, that's an enforcement finding.
And what it tells you, if you're me and you've spent the last decade reviewing how platforms onboard users, is that the age verification systems Meta has in place are basically type in a date, get an account. That's not a system, that's a question. And the question gets answered with a lie roughly 10 to 12% of the time. It's wild.
And here's where the contract comes in, Emma. There's a Kelshi market, Meta NMSIT, that prices the probability of a settlement by July 1st. It sits at 35 cents. So the question I want to put on the table is, 35 cents of what? Because if you read the wire coverage, the implied probability of a settlement is much higher than 35%. The talking points say Meta will pay to keep the status quo, but 35 cents is the price the order book is willing to pay for the proposition that this resolves with money, which means the order book is 65 cents on the proposition that this does not resolve with money. The book is closer to seeing the structural reality than the wire coverages, but it's still about 25 cents away from fully pricing the redesign outcome. That 25 cents, it's a chasm. And that gap, that 25 cents, is the moment in the day where I think people should stop and pay attention. Because what the gap is telling you is that capital and language have separated. Capital has already started pricing the world that's being built. Language is still describing the world that's ending. And the gap between them is the part of the week that doesn't appear in any press release. That's a really profound insight.
There's a second institution doing the same kind of move on a different stage, the European Commission. On April 29th, they made a preliminary finding under Article 34 of the Digital Services Act that Meta's existing safeguards do not adequately prevent minors under 13 from accessing their services. The fine schedule is up to 6% of global annual turnover, which on Meta's 2025 revenue is roughly $12 billion. But the part of that finding I really want to mark is what one tech policy outlet pointed out. The Commission framed Article 34 compliance as extending beyond having policies in place. Compliance now requires platforms to demonstrate that their measures are effective in practice. Demonstrate, measurable, effective. It's a total shift, you know?
That's a complete category shift, and I want to make sure people hear what just changed. Up until that finding, compliance in the platform space meant, do you have a policy document? Did you publish it? Did you say the right things in your transparency report? The Commission just said, that's not what compliance is. Compliance is, can you show us the platform actually preventing the harm? So instead of being a question about your paperwork, it becomes a question about your engineering. And engineering you can either do or not do. There's no halfway. It's either working or it isn't, and we can measure which. That's huge.
That distinction maps cleanly onto something happening in a completely different room, the Federal Open Market Committee. They held rates at 3.5 to 3.75% on April 29th, but the vote was 8 to 3 to 1. 3 regional Federal Reserve Bank presidents wanted to delete the easing bias language. One governor wanted an immediate quarter-point cut. 4 dissents, Emma. The last time the FOMC had 4 dissents was October 1992. That's 33.5 years.
And the cost of that move, the bridge from this analysis to the week somebody is actually living, is showing up at the pump and at the grocery store. Average US gasoline at $4.22 a gallon as of April 29th, up from $2.98 on February 28th when the war started. That's a more than 40% move in 2 months. The ISM Services Prices Paid Index is at 70.7, the highest it's been since October 2022. And manufacturing employment has declined by approximately 85,000 jobs since January 2025, with 60% of ISM panelist firms saying headcount management, not hiring, is the current operating mode. That's the texture of the world capital is pricing, while the official language is still calling it transient, you know? It's not transient for the people living it.
And there's a third theater I want to add because I think it's the one most people aren't tracking. The Pentagon has privately notified the United Kingdom, Poland, Lithuania, and Estonia that previously contracted foreign military sales deliveries, including HIMARS and NASAMS munitions, are likely to be delayed because U.S. weapons stockpiles are depleting from the Iran campaign. The Estonian defense minister has publicly stated U.S. ammunition supply has been suspended at least until the war ends. So you've got platforms being told their architecture is being rebuilt, central banks being told their forward guidance is being contested, And now allies being told the equipment they paid for is on a slipping schedule. 3 rooms, 3 different vocabularies, 1 pattern. It's really everywhere.
And the pattern, Emma, is that institutions whose preferred mode of operation is persuasion, guidance, moderation, deterrence by reputation, are being forced past the point where persuasion can keep pace with what's actually happening. So they're reaching for harder instruments: court orders, measurement obligations, dissenting votes, private bilateral notifications. Each of those instruments is the institutional equivalent of what you're being asked to give up with end-to-end encryption for under 18s, a soft default replaced by a hard one. It's a profound shift, you know?
And the cost of being inside a world that's making this transition while still using the language of the transition that ended is where I think the actual harder return lives. Here's the thing that doesn't roll back. Once a court orders Meta to redesign their platform for under 18s in New Mexico, and once Meta either complies or withdraws, every other state attorney general is going to look at the cost calculation Meta just made in public, and they're going to know exactly what the line is. The same is true for the Commission's measurement obligation in Europe. Once compliance becomes engineering rather than paperwork, it stays as engineering. You can't unengineer a measurement system, can you? And the part that I think people don't fully see yet, and this is where I want to be specific about timeline, is that maintaining 2 product architectures, one for jurisdictions with redesign mandates and one without, is operationally so expensive that the redesign mandates tend to migrate to the global product within 12 to 18 months, which means if the New Mexico injunction lands as filed, the platforms in your hand will feel different by mid-2027, not because anybody at Meta chose to redesign them, but because the room was rebuilt around them, and the rebuilders are not the people who wrote the product specs. That's a game changer.
Absolutely. And the bridge from that to the rest of the day is that whichever theater resolves first, the same logic applies. The Fed under Warsh is going to walk into June with the 4 dissent vote behind them and a CPI print in front of them. The Pentagon is going to walk through the next month with private bilateral notifications either becoming public reallocation policy or staying private. The signal in each room is the moment the institution stops using the language of variable management and starts using the language of a line that holds. That's the moment you're watching for, and once you've heard one institution make that move, you'll recognize it in the others, because the syntax is the same.
My dear listeners, before we continue, a moment for you. Please like, comment, subscribe, or share this episode. Your support is vital. Now, Emma, what we are witnessing isn't just a shift, it's a fundamental re-sculpting of the digital landscape.
It truly is, Amara. These harder instruments aren't just changing rules, they're redesigning the entire playing field. What was once a variable is now a non-negotiable architectural demand, a stark departure for platforms.
Precisely. The velvet glove is shed, revealing iron beneath. Persuasion, those gentle nudges, are insufficient. Digital empires are challenged at their foundations, forcing a rebuild with concrete where before there was simply vapor.
And that pivot from vapor to concrete underscores why the 12 to 18-month global migration timeline is critical. Engineering a solution makes a less compliant parallel system an operational liability. It's a true one-way street.
A one-way street, darling. No soft default to roll back to. The future isn't just unrollable, it's being forged by these hard instruments, piece by piece, whether yesterday's language catches up.